All right, let's talk about that feeling of being completely and utterly wiped out. We're not going to look at the latest productivity app or some new biohack. Instead, we're going to dive into an ancient way of looking at your body's own energy system. Turns out, the fix for modern burnout might have been hiding in plain sight for, well, centuries. So, does this sound familiar? You're exhausted, but you can't sleep. Your digestion just feels off. You're feeling kind of emotionally all over the place. And your focus? Gone. It's more than just being tired, right? It feels like you're fundamentally out of sync. Well, that is the classic sign of modern burnout, and it is definitely not just in your head. You know, there's a great story that gets right to the heart of this. It's about a young man who was just always sick. He tried everything, all the usual stuff, but nothing was working. Finally, he meets this old yogi who tells him, look, your body's water and fire are fine, but the air flowing within is broken. That idea, that broken air, that's the real key to understanding why we feel so completely drained. So what is this mysterious air? Well, in the yogic tradition, it has a name, Prana. It's the subtle life force energy that literally animates you. And when this energy system gets thrown out of balance, it honestly doesn't matter how much you sleep or how healthy you eat, you're still going to feel exhausted because the very current of life inside you is all jammed up. Think of prana as your body's own intelligent operating system. It's not just your breath, it's the energy that powers every single thing, from your heart beating and your brain firing off ideas to your ability to digest lunch and even process your emotions. When that system is running smoothly, you feel amazing. When it gets glitchy, well, that's burnout. Okay, so to fix this system, first we've got to understand its two most important currents. They basically work in opposition to each other. These are the main inflow and outflow for your entire energy body. And getting these two to play nice is the absolute first step to feeling better. The easiest way to think about it is to picture your body like a house. Prana is the clean water coming in through the pipes. It's this upward, energizing force that brings in new life, new ideas, all the good stuff. Now, apana, on the other hand, is the drainage system. It's a downward force, and its job is to get rid of everything the body doesn't need. We're talking physical waste, but also negative thoughts and heavy emotions. So, here's where it gets really interesting. What happens when this plumbing gets out of whack? Well, if your inflow, your prana, is weak, you feel tired, foggy, and totally uninspired. But if your outflow, your apana, is blocked, that's when you get things like constipation, emotional heaviness, anxiety, and just that awful feeling of being stuck. See, a healthy system needs a strong flow coming in and a clear path going out. So we've got our inflow and our outflow, but how does all that energy get managed in between? Well, that's where three specialized engineers come in. Their job is to process, use, and distribute all that energy, making sure it gets exactly where it needs to go. First up is samana. Think of it as your body's great equalizer right at your core, around your navel. Its main job is to process everything you take in. And this explains so much about why stress immediately messes with our digestion, right? When your samana is weak, you literally can't digest your food properly or your difficult experiences. And that leads to indigestion, bloating, and a ton of emotional turmoil. Next up, we have udana. This is your upward moving energy of expression. It's your get up and go force. It's in charge of your voice, your willpower, your ability to turn an idea into something real. Ever feel like you have these great ideas, but you just can't seem to make them happen? Or you struggle to speak up for yourself? That's a classic sign of weak udana. And finally, there's vyana. This is the distribution network. It takes all that energy that samana processed and circulates it through your entire body, down to every single cell. When vyana is in balance, you feel coordinated, your movements feel fluid, and you feel whole. When it's out of balance, you might have poor circulation, nerve issues, or just a general sense of feeling scattered and disconnected from your body. So let's just pull this all together. Here's your cheat sheet. You've got prana for intake, apana for elimination, samana for processing, udana for expression, and vyana for circulation. Now take a look at the signs of imbalance for each one. Notice anything? It's basically a checklist for burnout symptoms, isn't it? It's not a bunch of random problems. It's one interconnected system that's just a little out of tune. Okay, so knowing all this is great, but what can you actually do about it? Well, here's the really good news. You do not need to become a full-time yogi or meditate for hours on a mountaintop. There's a super simple, incredibly effective routine you can do every single morning. And this is honestly the best part. It takes 8 minutes. That's it. 8. For less time than it takes to scroll through your inbox in the morning, you can consciously hit the reset button on your entire energy system. You can set yourself up for better digestion, calmer emotions, and way more focus for the entire rest of the day. So here it is, the routine. Super simple. First, for 2 minutes, you're just going to sit and watch your breath. That's it. This awakens your prana. Second, for 3 minutes, you put a hand on your belly and just breathe into it, feeling it expand. This activates samana, your digestive fire. And third, for the last 3 minutes, you gently chant a long ah sound on your exhale. This stimulates udana, your energy of expression. Simple, right? So the big takeaway here is this. Managing your energy isn't some mystical, out-of-reach thing. It's a practical skill. By learning how to work with these 5 currents, you're taking direct control of your physical health and your mental well-being in a way that goes way deeper than any surface-level fix. And this really flips the script on how we're taught to think about energy. We live in this culture of hustle, hustle, hustle. More coffee, more stimulation, push harder. But true, sustainable energy, it isn't about adding more stuff. It's about harmonizing and balancing the powerful energy you already have inside you. It's all about creating flow, not force. So I'll just leave you with this question. Imagine what it would feel like. Your digestion is smooth, your mind is clear, your emotions are stable. Imagine feeling both grounded and totally able to express yourself. What could you create? What could you achieve? What could you experience if your own life force was finally working with you in perfect harmony?